Now, viewers, India's position is clear. Any kind of intimidation tactic is not going to work. The national interest is going to be above everything else, and this message was sent by the Prime Minister himself yesterday. After the Trump administration decided to punish India with the highest tariff of 50%, the question now is, what next? India has around 19 days to get additional 25% tariff removed. And for this, the negotiations on the trade deal are important. But it seems Trump is not too keen on that anymore. 5 rounds of negotiations have been completed, and the 6th round of talks between Washington and New Delhi are supposed to happen on the 25th of this month. India remains optimistic about finalizing the bilateral trade agreement this month, but Trump's latest reaction to a direct question seems to indicate that no more negotiations will take place until the tariff issue is actually resolved.
President, just to follow up on the India tariffs, do you expect increased trade negotiations, since you've announced the 50% tariff?
No, not until we get it resolved.
Mr. President, just to follow up on the India tariffs, do you expect increased trade negotiations, since you've announced the 50% tariff?
No, not until we get it resolved.
Mr. President.
Now, but with Trump, one can't be sure, and 19 days are more than enough in diplomacy. The House Foreign Affairs Committee Democrats expressed concerns about the potential impact on established India-US relationship. Prominent American Congressman Gregory Meeks also said that Trump's tariff tantrum risks years of careful work to build the partnership. To get more on how it is that India is looking at these developments, let's also break it down for you and tell you what could happen in the next 19 days. This is going to be very crucial because, remember, a negotiating team from the United States is going to be in the country. They are going to be here for the negotiations, but Trump has interestingly gone on to say that we're not going to have any more talks until things are resolved. What are these things that he is going to be talking about? That's the big question. He remains adamant, and India is also stepping up its engagement with the fellow BRICS nations as well. We are looking at BRICS versus Trump. That's what seems to be playing out. Apart from India, Brazil has been slapped with 50% tariff by Trump. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to the Brazilian President Lula da Silva. Yesterday, the Russian President Vladimir Putin has also confirmation coming in from the NSA that he is likely to visit India later this year. This will be the first trip since Russia-Ukraine conflict began in 2022, and this comes after a visit by India's NSA to Moscow. And the Prime Minister is also likely to visit China later this month for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or the SCO summit. So there is a possibility of a bilateral that could take place between Prime Minister Modi and the Chinese President Xi Jinping. It's said that diplomacy is the art of less words, but these actions definitely are going to have an impact on what is going to happen next. Because let's break it down. In the past, Trump has criticized BRICS grouping as an anti-US grouping without being confrontational. And the Brazilian president has also now spoken to India and has seen clear indication that China is also talking about India, saying that India is right in what it's doing and calling out the US bullying. The Chinese ambassador to India has also taken a jab at the US President Donald Trump after his tariff imposition on various countries, including India. In the text, he also goes on to mention that India and China have very, very close ties. Brazil also being mentioned in that. In fact, these mentions have made, making it very clear that it is going to be a BRICS grouping on one side versus the United States.
These are all only words from Mr. Modi. Actions are weighted. Mr. Modi is not having the guts to call Trump's lies, lies. Trump's threat as threat. Now he will just keep on diverting with this kind of dialogues, Amitabh Bachchan dialogues in speeches. Let him show in actions first. Let him put the tariff. Let him increase the tariff on the American goods. Let him show that we can also act.
Definitely, we need to build our relationships with other countries. But the American market cannot be immediately replaced by other countries. An Indian supplier, for example, a pharmaceutical supplier or a textile supplier or a seafood supplier or any supplier, can't immediately find a customer in Brazil or Russia overnight. I mean, there will be repercussions to Indian business. But my view is that Trump's levying tax on a tariff on India is not merely tied to the fact that India is buying Russian oil, because the European Union buys energy from Russia. America itself does a lot of trade with Russia. I think this is there are some other reasons to it. And I'm hearing speculations that because of corporations controlled by the Pakistan army have very close business ties with the Trump organization, this might be due to their coercion that the Trump administration is levying tariffs on India. Because I don't for a minute believe that these tariffs are only because India is trading with Russia.
जो कुछ चल रहा है ये काफी चिंतित है कि एक देश जो हमारे नजदीकी रिश्ता से चल रहे थे, जो मैं कहूँ एक स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप के बुनियाद पे हम काम कर रहे थे और हमारे दूसरे पॉलिसीज पे भी असर पड़ता था इससे, अगर उस देश उनके एटीट्यूड को बदल लिए तो भारत को बहुत सारी चीजें सोचना पड़ेगा। शायद आने वाले 2-3 हफ्ते में जहां हमारे नेगोशिएशंस चल रहे हैं कि शायद कुछ दूसरे अंडरस्टैंडिंग, दूसरा समझौता पे पहुंच जा सकेंगे, मालूम नहीं है। लेकिन भारत को भी अपने हित है, वी हैव आवर ओन सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट, इसके बुनियाद में ही हमारे नेगोशिएटर्स काम करेंगे। तो मेरे ख्याल में ये नेगोशिएशन कैसे चलेगा, हमें 2-3 हफ्ता इंतजार करना पड़ेगा।
देखिए, आदरणीय अखिलेश यादव जी ने पहले इस बात को कहा कि जो हमारी विदेश नीति थी वो पूरी तरीके से विफल रही है। जो अमेरिकी दबाव है, जिस तरह अमेरिका दबाव डाल रहा है, चारों तरफ से देश पे दबाव पड़ रहा है, तो देश को कूटनीतिक तरह से उससे निपटना चाहिए। अमेरिका से वार्ता ही एक रास्ता है, कूटनीतिक तरह से उनसे बातचीत भी हो और इस समस्या का समाधान हो।
मैं लगातार केंद्र सरकार से पूछ रही थी और खास करके कॉमर्स मिनिस्टर से कि वो देश की जनता को अवगत करें कि क्या वो ट्रेड डील चालू है, पॉज पे है, अबेंस पे है, बंद है, और देश को जवाब ना देकर अब डोनाल्ड ट्रंप जवाब दे रहे हैं, जिससे हमें पता चल रहा है कि जो ट्रेड डील है अभी ठंडे बक्से में रख दी गई है। पर ये ट्रंप का एक और तरीका है हमें आर्म ट्विस्ट करने का, हमें बुली करने का। नेशनल इंटरेस्ट को सबसे ऊपर रखते हुए, नेशनल सॉवरेनिटी को सबसे ऊपर रखते हुए हमारी सरकार को वो हर कदम उठाना पड़ेगा जिससे यूएस जिस तरीके से हमारे व्यापारों पे थ्रेट लगा रहा है, टैरिफ्स लगा रहा है, उसको हम किसी तरीके से रिजॉल्व कर पाए और हमारे एक्सपोर्टर्स के लिए, हमारे बिजनेसमैन के लिए कोई सोल्यूशन ढूंढ पाए।
अमेरिका के साथ आउटराइट ही हमें ट्रेड खत्म कर देना चाहिए कि जाओ हम करने ही तुम्हारे साथ ट्रेड ही नहीं करते हैं। इस तरह धमक धमकी के अंदर नहीं आना चाहिए। अमेरिका की धमकी के आगे देश झुके, ये देश के लिए मुनासिब नहीं है।
तो दूसरी तरफ चाइना जो है इंडिया को अपना भाई बता रहा है, चाइनीज माउथ पीस है, उनकी तरफ से एक ओपेड आया है, उन्होंने स्वागत किया जिस तरीके से बायलैटरल टाइज इंडिया के साथ में चल रहे हैं और अपना भाई बताया है इंडिया को।
देखिए, जिस तरह वैश्विक पटल के ऊपर जो समीकरण बन रहे हैं, तो आपको कहीं ना कहीं तो बैठना पड़ेगा।
भारत के हित के लिए जो भी उचित है वो होना चाहिए। व्यापारिक हित भारत के व्यक्तिगत कारणों से नहीं रोका जाना चाहिए। हम ट्रंप से आग्रह करेंगे कि ये 50% का जो टैरिफ लगाया इसे वापस लें। माना मोदी सरकार की विदेश नीति की भटकाव और उनका अनुभवहीनता, अपने विदेश मंत्रालय के ब्रीफिंग से बाहर जाके नारा लगा दिया, अगली सरकार ट्रंप सरकार, नमस्ते ट्रंप, हाउडी मोदी, ये सब करके स्थापित जो नीति थी कि हम किसी दूसरे देश के आंतरिक मामले में हस्तक्षेप नहीं करेंगे। कुछ तो है मामला, दबी हुई है और कुछ मोदी जी की ट्रंप के सामने।